This is an hour with the Wolf Pack. This is episode 10. Today's date is February 20th, 2016. And today I'll be hosting it. And this is Fano. And we're here with JD and Mike. Then I'll begin with the first topic. So I was watching this, one of my guys I watch, anyways, it was basically just about, he had this guy on the air and he was talking about Einstein. Like, I guess he studied Einstein for 20 years plus, and he wanted to figure out who he really was and all this stuff. So what he found out, that Einstein had this wife, and I guess she was like a really smart-ass person. And what he found out, though, that she was pretty much everything Einstein was famous for, she did, for the most part. And how he found this out, that was a lot of stuff that they signed, it was under her name, and she went by, like, I forgot her first name, but it was like something Einstein. So, but in other words, he pretty much was the head guy, like he was a spokesman, and then she was the actual person doing all the work, and so she never got famous for it. And then he starts talking about just like Einstein's life, and how pretty much after he got divorced from this woman, he actually married his cousin. And really what he wanted to do, though, was marry his cousin's daughter. And she was like, no, it's not going to happen. So he ends up marrying his cousin. And in his eyes, he felt like, well, if he couldn't get with the cousin's daughter, he can just marry the cousin, and then he'll have a harem of women, because he would have all her daughters too, in his eyes. But basically, like, this guy just starts talking about all this other stuff about Einstein, how, I guess I didn't say it, but how pretty much after he divorced the lady, all his theories and stuff, like, went out the door. Like, he didn't have much work after that. And even they had this contract, him and his wife, even after they divorced, that if he won the Nobel Peace Prize, he was supposed to give her money, and he ended up giving her money after he won. And then the guy also goes to explain pretty much how he was really racist, and he was saying that Einstein was a Zionist, and he pretty much just really believed in the Jewish race pretty much being the only superior race, and everyone else is just looked down upon and are there just to serve the Jewish people. So I think it's pretty intense, like, what this guy's saying is true. I mean, regardless of all the other stuff, if even what he was saying was true, just based off of his wife actually was the smart person and came up with all this stuff, I think that's a real trip. And what was crazy, too, is the guy that was hosting the show was asking the guy, was like, oh, did you ever tell women this, like feminists, to back you up and, you know, show you, because you have all the facts and stuff? And the guy goes, man, it was something, I forgot exactly what it was, but, like, the feminists wouldn't really back him up because Einstein had dirt on the woman, and I don't know. Like, I don't really understand what feminist is about, but they just wouldn't really back him up, even though it was true that this lady was smart. Basically, was Einstein, what Einstein was smart for. So, I guess I'll just see what your guys' thoughts about it, and I guess Mike can say what he thinks.
Well, feminism is, you know, the rights of women for women. You know, that's what feminism is. And a lot of women are beating around the bush if they're really feminism. feminist or not. But I just looked up Albert Einstein's first wife, and supposedly she had a part in his first theory of his 1905 theory of relativity. But some people are saying that that it's just a hoax about it.
No, this guy. Well, what I'm trying to say though is this dude.
But they're saying that, claiming that Albert Einstein wasn't really as smart as one previously thought. Rumors has taken that all the works from his first wife, and took all these fame and claim. So I guess he stole it from his wife. But I don't know about that. He was, but I don't know if anybody really knows, but Albert Einstein is in German, I think. He came over during World War II, I think. I'm not too sure about that.
Anyways,
that says a lot right there.
That's all I have to say?
Well, I mean, Albert Einstein's a great guy, but,
It's not what I'm talking about. I'm just saying, what do you think about what this guy was saying on the show?
I mean,
if it's all true, that's what I'm saying. What
if
do you
it
think
was
about
true that a woman has the same intelligence of a man and came up with a theory that basically all theories are pretty much based on, I wouldn't say that's not true, because women can and are as smart as men. And, at the time of the early 20th century, it wasn't common for women to, overshadow men. So, I don't know. But where are the women today, saying, concluding that, relativity was more than it is? I don't know. So
this sounds like you don't really have an opinion on it then.
I mean, I think it's probably deployed by the feminists to, empower women more. That's my theory.
This is a guy who did this research.
But, I mean, you came in with really no facts to the show to bring up this idea, except for some hearsay. So
you can watch it on Jeff Reese on his newer videos on YouTube.
I watched it, but
the one about Einstein.
But Einstein did also, have some theories after he divorced his wife that came up to be about the universe.
No, he didn't. That's what the guy found out. That the only one was I think it was the relativity of I don't know, I forgot. But that one in itself was that theory was finished by a different guy, and he goes in and explain all that. But anyways, what do you think, JD?
Well, I mean, I just think that I think maybe they just did it like that because she can't really be say that it was her, because then back then you couldn't really do that.
So do you think yeah,
Yeah, like she couldn't do that. Like she couldn't put it under her name because it just wouldn't work.
Do you think they'd say she's stupid or something, or a witch?
I don't know if it was around that time. I'm not sure, but if it was, yeah, it just wouldn't. Back then, there was smart women, but I mean, you don't really knew about them. I don't know. Maybe I don't know why they decided to do that. That might be one reason, or maybe he just took credit for it, or I don't know. I don't know what the reason was for that. But if he gave her money for the Nobel Prize, then that means that they had a deal, or else he would have not given her anything, and he would have just been selfish and kept it.
Well, that was part of their marriage. They signed this prenup that said and that's why the guy was it was really weird because they signed this prenup. If he ever won the Nobel Peace Prize, he would have to give her money. And then he was trying to say it was also shown a hush hush thing, oh, here's your money, now shut up. don't ever bring it up again.
Well, 10 facts about Einstein is, I'm looking up, is number 6 is Einstein became estranged from his first wife, then had a proposal of a contract. The relation proceeded. Einstein became estranged from his wife. The biographer reprinted a chilling letter from Einstein to his wife, a proposed contract in which they could continue living together under certain conditions. Indeed, that it was heading conditions. You will make sure, number 1, that my clothes and laundry are kept in good order, that I receive my 3 meals regularly in my room, that my bedroom and studies are kept neat, especially my desk left from my used only, and you will relate all personal relationships with my insofar as they are not completely necessary for social reasons. I don't know what that means. So I guess it sounds like he really just didn't get along with his first wife, you know. So he saw her as like some piece of property.
Well, I don't know. Like
And also, Einstein didn't get along with his oldest son. After divorce, Einstein's relation with his oldest son, Albert, turned rocky. Hans blamed his father for leaving his mother after Einstein won the Nobel Prize and money, and was giving his wife access only to interest rather than the principal sum of the award, thus making her life that much harder financially.
Anyways, he had multiple wives, so I don't know why you're reading all that.
And it says here Einstein was a ladies' man.
Okay, that's not what I'm talking about. I don't care about the goddamn guy's life. I'm just saying.
Einstein was a war profiteer.
Given
Urged FDR to build the atom bomb.
Okay, just go on your topic then. You're just fucking this whole thing up.
I'm just saying, here's the facts about Einstein.
But what does that have to do with your opinion about what I'm saying?
I think it's full of shit.
That's all I want to know.
Alright.
God damn, that's what I asked.
Alright, do gingers have souls? That's what I want to know. Do gingers have souls? Because I watched what's that guy's name?
What, Copper Cap?
Yeah, Copper Cap, and he brought this up, this great argument is, do gingers have souls? And also, if gingers do have souls, people make fun of gingers, do they have a right to say that's discrimination? JD?
Well, I mean, I've met them and they don't seem like bad people. I mean, that's just how they are, I guess.
So you're agreeing that they don't have souls?
I'm just saying they're just like people. I mean, if they didn't have souls, then they wouldn't be living.
But do you think most redheads are kind of soulless in a way?
No, I think that's just their character.
So you think they have a legitimate cause for saying for discrimination against redheads?
They what?
Do you think that they have a legit case of discrimination against people who hate on them for having red hair?
Well, yeah, I think that's messed up.
Okay. Fano?
Yeah.
That's not the video. Here's the thing you just don't understand. That was just a video where this guy just got made fun of all the time. And so he just goes and pretty much rants how people are making fun of him. And, I mean, as far as, like, if you're talking about, like, a school environment, if there's a redheaded kid, I'm pretty sure that kid would get picked on because no one else pretty much will have red hair besides maybe that one guy and maybe 3 other people. So that's an easy target, and especially that kid was not good looking and he's fat, so he's getting picked on for like being fat and all other stuff.
I mean, he shouldn't. He'll get older and realize that it doesn't really matter. What people say.
Well, the thing is, he made a whole, because he got famous, and then he just made like a whole channel about him being this angry, redheaded ginger guy.
Mm-hmm.
And now he's like a feminist He's basically what he is an actor, and he's just making up this persona that I'm acting as a feminist, and he's just like trying to like stand up for everything. Like he believes that there should be no borders. He believes everyone should be equal.
He's very liberal.
And it's but at the same time he's literally just acting, but then he's acting like he's not acting. So it just like when I watched it just hurt my head for like a whole day.
Yeah, I think I didn't see it.
Yeah, no, because it's just like it's like funny, but then you realize how people take it serious, and they like live their whole life just based around this like kid, and there's people that like Alex Jones, like his channel, because he called out like one of the guys that is part of Alex Jones, and then they made a video like talking shit to this ginger kid, and it's just like in my head I was just like, why even waste time doing that?
Well, I mean, it's just like it's TV programming, so.
Or they're helping him out, you know. As they say, no. What's that saying? No bad publicity is always good publicity or something.
Publicity?
Yeah. So so they're probably helping him out by
Hey man, I'm gonna say right now, wake the fuck up on the show. Wake up. You sound like you're half asleep on the show. Alright, JD, your turn.
I don't know. It's funny because I was, can you hear me?
Yeah.
And it's funny because, you brought up Einstein, and then I had a topic on Einstein because they just recently proved that, I think they call them electronic waves are like real. And it's just like, I've barely read the article, I don't really even know much about it, but because it's complicated to understand what he was saying, but supposedly there's like two black holes, and then each one of them is like, I don't know, they say that the reason why there's light is because there was like electric wave that like, think about it like a tsunami, and it like moved all the, I'm assuming it moved all the atoms, and then when you move them, then you create like light. So then it's just like supposedly on September something, 14, I don't know what day they, on 2015, they supposedly think they found or they felt an electronic wave. I don't know. It was just like kind of. But I mean, like when you were talking about Einstein in his life, I mean, yeah, he was a crazy person, but then again, he knew too much. So I mean, for him, I understand why he was the way he was, but I just care more about his theories than who he was. I mean, everybody's pretty fucked up, so it's only normal that he's pretty crazy. I mean, you need to expect it out of somebody that's like that smart. I mean, he predicted these things years ago, so I mean, it just goes to show like how the hell did he do that?
So this is an Einstein theory you're talking about?
Yeah, supposedly they might prove it correct.
Okay, so then back to what I was talking about. What happens if it was just from his first wife? What happens if that was her theory?
Well, I think they both came up with them. They probably just bounced ideas out of each other and came up with shit.
Supposedly though, she was smarter than he was. Like he wasn't really like smart. He was just a charmer. So he basically knew like bullshit and act. But he knew stuff. He just wasn't like that smart. That's what I'm trying to say.
No, well, yeah, he was the way he came up with most of his theories. He would walk in a garden and then he would talk to himself. He was more of a. That's what I'm saying though. He was back in the day. That's considered crazy. You're telling me that these ideas are coming into your head while you're walking and meditating. Nowadays it doesn't sound crazy, but you got to think about back then. And then I'm not doubting that his wife was smarter. I mean, she probably was, but you need smart people to help you figure out things. If you want to figure out theories, you need to surround yourself with really smart people. If you really think about it. I mean, it's detrimental for Einstein to hang out with somebody that's not that smart because it's not going to help him. It's only going to hold him back. So that's why he's a genius, because he hangs out around smart people. That's why all these universities, some like Stanford, it's geniuses. I mean, when my brother went to Stanford, he was surrounded by people that are super smart. You really think that they're not going to come up with super crazy ideas? That's what they did back in the day with the Greeks. They would just, philosophers would just hang out and talk and come up with crazy ideas.
So, facts about Einstein. At age 12, Einstein taught himself geometry. At age 16, he failed an exam to become a trained electrical engineer. So he left school, and in 1909 he got his PhD and wrote a paper topic now called Special Theory of Relativity. So,
yeah, what I'm trying to say though is what this guy is saying, that what you read on there about how smart he was, all this came from it. It's just what I'm trying to say. It's like, if you become famous for being a smart person, but you stole all your shit from your wife that you were with at the time, and really you weren't that smart, it was your wife who was this brilliant ass person. That's all I'm saying. And so, I mean, you can say about the black hole theory and stuff, that's a trip. But what I'm saying is just all from this chick and not really Einstein.
Well, Einstein took an IQ test and it had an IQ of 160, the same as Stephen Hawking's.
What did his wife have? His first wife.
I don't know.
Why don't you look that up? So, I don't know. I'm just saying, for me, it's not like too big of a deal, because I don't really look at Einstein, all that stuff, and really care too much. Because I used to look up theories. I think I was like looking up Stephen Hawking's. Or I think it was because after I watched that that movie that's based off of his life. And then I was realizing that
Stephen Hawking's life?
Yeah, that pretty much like theories are just ideas that people just create, and there's evidence not really to it, but it's just like an idea.
Well, that's why they do their scientific testing of the theory to see if it's true. So they make a theory, like, do dogs really need to bark? And then they test that theory, then they write a paper saying,
I have like Stephen Hawking though is all about, was it the world and time and shit, right?
But Einstein came up with the laws to deal with the laws of light and gravity as something or someone way out in the universe, relative to what you might say. Then the second thing he came up was the speed of light is a constant. And then in 1916 he published the General Theory of Relativity, which held...
Alright, I'm kind of over this Einstein shit. So
but he was still a smart guy. He had 160.
And no one's saying that. It's not what even I'm talking about.
If you have 120, you're like a genius. So he had 160. Like, he's still really smart.
I'm not saying he's a fucking idiot. I'm just saying what he's claiming that he made up was actually his goddamn one.
So he was a German citizen in 1896, and then became a Swedish citizen in 1901. Then married his wife in 1901. They had 2 kids, then got divorced. And then he married his cousin.
Yeah, I know. That's what I told you. So he did adultery.
Well, what's the big deal with that?
You should see a picture of his cousin. The cousin wasn't even good looking. It's fucking weird. Because he wanted to fuck her daughter. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
He's not that really that good looking a guy either. So I mean, okay,
whatever.
JD, what's your topic?
You already went. You're not the host.
Oh,
Jesus Christ, man. Yeah, jeez. All right, so I'm gonna go for my next topic. I guess I'll talk about, cause I was just looking this up, male balding and why men become bald. And I was like researching it for a little bit, but I found this article that, because a lot of them they just based off of saying that it's all DNA, and then I was like, okay, I can accept that. But I was like, there's obviously health facts of why you're losing your hair. And so I found this page, and it goes to say like, well, first of all, it's like diet. That's what you're eating. And they're saying that if you don't eat enough like red meat, chicken, they basically, if you don't have enough creatine, you start balding. Because what happens is when you're testosterone, the DHA basically like breaks out and makes your hair follicle like not grow right. So like a lot of people say, well, you have too much testosterone and that's why you start balding. But the reality is it's a combination of what you're eating, and then they go on to say like, well, it's because you're not enough iron, your thyroid could be messed up. So knowing a lot about health, I started thinking about it, and I was like, well, all the shit that's happening, as far as all the estrogen mimickers, just the crappy food they're feeding us, like, majority of people are gonna start balding, and your eyes are gonna go bad, everything's gonna start going bad on you. And then I even thought about it more like, okay, well, let's just say it's DNA, you know? And I started thinking about people I know and who's balding and who's not balding. And I was realizing that a lot of people I know that are balding are more Caucasians and they're mixed with multiple races. So I was coming to the conclusion that the more pure you are towards your race, I think you have a stronger gene to have like a healthier body, and aka your hair's not going to fall out or your eyes won't go bad. So, you know, I think if you're mixed with a bunch of different things, you have a weak DNA strain, and hence you would have to pretty much eat like super clean since day one, which no one does because we're growing up in the city and we eat a bunch of fake foods. So, I guess I just want to know your thoughts on balding, and I'll start with Mike. What are your thoughts?
Well, I noticed that a lot of these British movies and the colonial movies of, you know, when the British came over and the French came over, and a lot of them were bald and they all wear wigs. And why was that? And I think it has something to do with their amounts of sugar they take in.
Oh, that was the other thing. It said when you have lots of sugar, it basically stops everything from growing right. They basically say stay away from sugar and have more creatine, pretty much, which you get it through eggs and meats, animal products.
So I think it's a mixture of men today live a very stressful life.
Yeah, that was another thing they said.
You know, we are constantly bombarded by our women to do better, feel better, think better, and you know, we're not allowed to be warriors anymore, and that has a lot to do with us being stressed out. We can't go hunt and gather and bring back a reward for our women to make us feel better, and I think that stresses us out, and you know, stress kills and stress balds you. And also I think that, you know, washing your hair every day with those chemical shampoos has something to do with killing off, you know, your good bacteria on your top of your head. I notice women, they don't really you know, wash their hair every day, so they don't go bald. So I think that has something to do with it. I also think that probably it's the opposite. You need more testosterone. I see all these guys who are very older men who are very in shape, high testosterone. They're not bald, you know. So it probably has something to do with that too.
Well, that's the whole gene thing. But then I also was reading, I forgot to bring it up, that they say like if you have eczema or dandruff, like all these skin issues, that will cause your hair follicles not to grow right, and it'll give you more like oily skin and stuff, and basically will start balding. But all this really has to do with your internal organs, though, like your kidney, your liver. And so you think about the number one thing I think in my head is just alcohol. Because alcohol is just, most of it's just straight GMO, straight sugar, straight poison. And if, the way we're brought up in the city is just to drink, drink, drink. And if you're not doing that, you're drinking lots of soda, and that's like the same thing as alcohol, and everything's sugar drinks. So I'm saying, like, if you're born with like a weak DNA strain, you're pretty much fucked. Like, you're gonna get bad eyesight, you're gonna get balding, and all that stuff. So, what do you think, JD?
Yeah, I mean, I think it could be all those options. I mean, it depends on the person. I mean, everybody's different, so I think it's going to be something different for everybody that causes that, I think.
But you have a full set of hair, right?
I mean, yeah, my hair is good, but like, in my bloodline, like, nobody's really bald, so I would say maybe that's why.
Well, there you go. And plus, you're full Mexican, right?
Yeah, it should be.
Yeah. And so, like me, like, I'm like 4 different European strains, if not more. So, like, I'm not like a full anything, or even like a half anything.
Well, look at the Prince of England. He's like, one of them is like bald, no?
Yeah, I think all of them are.
Oh, yeah, all those Europeans are bald. It might just be a European thing, because, you don't get
I got a friend that's from Europe, too. He's from Germany. I think he's like, the same.
I mean, it would make sense, because over there, you're in the cloudy weather all the time. So, you pretty much, to pick up on the light, hair would block it.
I think it's just they consume a lot of sugar there.
Well, that's another thing. Sugar did come from
and
Europe.
their women there are very, very demanding on them. It's hard being a man. You have a woman, stressing you out all the time about nothing. For the most part, that doesn't help. With you. So I'm looking up statistics, and by the age of 35, 40% of males have significant hair loss. By 50, 85% of men have thinning hair. So, there goes right there.
Yeah, but right now, majority of people that I see are below 30, and everyone's... I see a lot more balding people than people with healthy hair.
Big Al. Big Al, I think, is balding. I think it has to do with his testosterone. If I bet we test him, his testosterone is very low, I would say.
No, it's you bald when your testosterone is really high.
Too high, so you don't have enough estrogen to balance.
No, it's because the testosterone, the DHA makes, I don't know, it's the off, if it's like the off gas, or it's like something part of the testosterone that makes you start losing hair. It's basically like the imbalance. By having too much of it, it destroys your hair follicles. Only on your head.
So did you look up what can you do to offset this?
They said pretty much don't eat sugar, eat creatine, which is basically poultry and meat.
It's a synthetic red meat.
No, yeah, just real meats and dairies, pretty much. High doses.
So you consume a lot.
Dark greens. It's basically what they really said. Is you gotta eat.
Don't drink alcohol and don't eat sugar, and you'll be good.
Be on a real clean diet your whole life.
And pretty much stay away from refined carbohydrates.
And don't be stressed out.
JD, do you eat a lot of refined carbohydrates?
What?
Do you eat a lot of refined carbohydrates like pastas and bread?
Like bread?
Yeah, pastas and breads. Do you eat a lot of that?
We eat a lot of bread in Mexico.
No, do you on your diet right now?
Yeah, here and there, not too much, but yeah, kind of not too much though. Sometimes.
I just really think it's DNA, and then it goes into the food aspect.
I think it's more stress than eating sugar. Because, people that are highly stressed out, their hair falls out, so. And I think men, we are propped up to be the breadwinners, and that's a highly competitive, highly stressed out thing to be in, to where you have to basically make a lot of money to feel accomplished in life. And that's a pretty stressful thing to be, I think. A woman can, have any kind of job, and pretty much as long as she's happy, everybody's cool with it. But if a man is not earning money, we are somehow not equal to anybody. We're like shitted on, even if you're a good person. Do you feel that way?
Yeah, I mean, that's part of it, but that's all thought. You can totally just block all that out and say it's bullshit, and I'm living my life happy.
Yeah.
The only thing I can say about myself is that what I read that made sense to me is like how when they talk about eczema and dandruff, and I suffered through dandruff and eczema at a young age, and what I began to realize, because I've been on a diet for about 30 days where I cut all that out, all the sugars and fake foods, and I've been noticing my dandruff and all that stuff's going away more. And what I realized is I started getting all those issues probably when I was like 17, 18 years old, and just realizing like I don't have a healthy strain in DNA. Like I have to eat really, really clean just to be like a normal-ish type of person. And I'm okay with that right now, but what I realize also too is probably why I'm losing hair and things is part of my eczema. And when I did have it and I didn't know anything about health, I was taking shampoos that had tar in it and weird fucking chemicals that these Babylonian doctors told me to use and lied to me. And I fixed eczema on my head just with coconut oil. So, and I used that shampoo for probably like fucking 5-6 years. And I really blame that's why I'm balding, because that's like, if you're putting heavily toxic shampoos on your head every day. I used to do it every other day because I'd get itching and be really, really bad.
Well, at that
I guarantee that just fucked my whole body.
You were consuming a lot of refined carbohydrates too, right?
Yeah, well, what I realized when I thought back to it, I worked at a movie theater, and I realized I didn't ever drink soda a lot, but when I worked there, I would drink soda, and I would work there 4 to 5 days a week. I mean, I wouldn't drink heavily soda, but I would drink more than...
at least 12 ounces?
Yeah, because you get bored there, so I would drink way more than I'd ever drink not working there.
So 12 ounces at least?
Yeah, so I blame it really just probably, if I had to like pick what caused it, would just be, I would say the soda and just eating really bad food by working. So, but now on my diet, like I just realized, I can see the dandruff and the stuff going away now, and I'm just really realizing like, yeah, it is all this food is fucking everyone up, and everyone's being lied to. So
it's a sad world we live in.
Yeah, but, that's all I say about it. You got any last thoughts on that, JD, or no?
Not really. That's pretty much it. I mean, yeah, it could be a number of things.
All right, Mike, it's your topic.
Okay, so this past week, the actor James Woods will be allowed to bring a $10 million defamation lawsuit against an anonymous Twitter user who called him a cocaine addict. So he's alleging that being called a cocaine addict, had suffering consequences for him. But his alleged anonymous Twitter person he's suing has a lawyer, and the lawyer's saying that, James Wood goes around calling people scum, clown boys on his Twitter. So, JD, do you think it's right for people on Twitter to basically sue other people for calling them cocaine addicts or anything? And how do you feel about your maybe losing your First Amendment rights?
Well, I think everybody be suing each other would just be too crazy. Just another way for lawyers to make money, I guess. I don't really see. Why does the guy even care? It's a guy on Twitter, so all we know is some kid that's 7 years old. I don't know. It's pointless, I think.
I think I'm gonna quote a KP quote. This guy should either nut up or sack up. It's kind of like this guy's just being a bitch. It's like, okay, I think I was watching something else about something similar to this. But I think it's some guy just talking about like trolls on the internet and just everything. And this guy was just like, why would you even take it serious? Like, in reality, these are all just made up people. Like, who cares whatever they say? It's not even real.
Well, no, James Wood is suing Twitter. He's not suing the guy.
Then James Wood should go off Twitter then.
Yeah, well, it's a defamation lawsuit, so he's saying that he's having severe problems basically getting work because of this guy calling him a cocaine addict, which...
He just shouldn't have Twitter at all then. If he can't handle it, he shouldn't have Twitter.
Yeah.
Go to Facebook.
Yeah, that's why that's what the guy, the person is saying, his lawyer is talking for him, saying that James Wood wants him to reveal himself, but Twitter is saying that, he's allowed to be, anonymous if he feels like it. He doesn't have to give out his name and stuff. So, but now, since it's going to court, that, the laws are, I think it's one of the amendments where, you have a right to know who your
freedom of speech. It's your First Amendment.
But you also have the right to know your accuser. So your accuser has to reveal himself,
But if he's suing Twitter, he's not suing the actual kid, so it doesn't matter.
He's suing Twitter for $10 million.
So why would the kid have to reveal his name?
We don't know if it's a kid. There's no...
Why would the robot have to reveal its fucking robot ID number?
I think it has something to do with one of the amendments of the Constitution.
Either way, Twitter doesn't care. They make too much money. It's like chump change.
And then here, I'll bother another question to this. If you're a poor person and you're getting harassed, you don't have enough money to go sue Twitter. So, fuck that guy. Rich fucking people just suing people because they got money. If I was getting harassed, I couldn't go sue Twitter. I don't got enough money for that shit.
Yeah, pretty much.
Right? Or if you're getting harassed.
Yep.
So, that's just Babylon. That guy doesn't deserve shit. That guy just needs to be a man and say, people are going to make fun of me, and I just need to be a better person and not listen to some guy calling me a cokehead.
It's probably true, that's why he's mad.
Well, yeah.
That's the funniest part about the story.
Everything someone's mad about, it's either true. Because if it wasn't true, why would you be mad, bro? Why would you be mad? It doesn't make any sense. Because he probably is just like a hardcore coke addict that can't deal with it. Like alcoholics can't deal with being around alcohol, but you can just if you block that shit out.
It's probably a family member that told him that.
Yeah.
They created an account and they were like, we're tired of this coke addict, and they called him a coke addict, and he probably wants to sue Twitter to find out who said that, but they're not going to tell him. They won't even tell the government. The government wants Twitter to release the profiles of the guys who did the shooting, and they're not gonna release it. They're gonna go to court over it.
Also, Donald Trump is saying boycott a phone maker that uses the symbol of an apple, saying that these FBI want it so they are allowed to go around encryption codes for the benefit of fighting terrorism, And Donald Trump doesn't think that's a good reason to the government to at any time just call you a terrorist and open up your phone. So vote for Trump on that aspect. He's trying to keep you your privacy private. So good for him.
Alright, so how long are we gonna go? And then when are we gonna end it, Fano? Who's doing the last topic?
We're around like 20 minutes left, so.
I got another topic.
It's not your turn though.
But can we talk about it?
No, JD, it's your topic if you have one.
Okay, I'll talk about like the big news, I guess, kind of in the entertainment world is Kanye West.
Well, what did that troll say?
And then he released this album, and then he's gonna try to sue Pirate Bay because Pirate Bay has this album for download for free, and then he's mad because he's streaming it on Tidal. If you're a subscriber on the streaming company that Jay-Z made, but it's just like, dude, who cares? If people want to download it, who cares? I mean, maybe it's not that great. He's just probably mad that his whole marketing scheme didn't really work.
I heard he's broke though.
Yeah, supposedly.
He asked the Facebook guy for $1 billion. You see that?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, isn't he married to Kim Kardashian? So he's pretty much fucking never gonna be broke. So.
Yeah, true.
Like, he has a kid with her, and I don't know if you didn't know this, but in the state of California, whoever makes more money, you get to basically take money from them as alimony. I don't know if they're married though, but are they married by any chance?
I think they're married.
Like legally married, so.
Yeah, I think they're legally married.
They probably have some form of a prenuptial agreement, but.
No, my thing about Kanye West is like if you're an artist, okay, let's just say this. If you're famous, you're already known, then you should just be making art. It shouldn't be about money, or if you're broke, or any of that shit. Like, if you're broke after being famous, that's your fault. You made a bunch of dumbass decisions. And you deserve to be broke and poor on the street. You don't deserve shit. And so, his whole thing asking for money, I think it's all like a stunt for him to be popular again. Because he's on his breaking point where in a few more years, no one's going to give a shit about this guy. Well, and I'm not done with what I'm saying. And so, I don't know. There was another person that went broke. Oh no, it was 50 Cent that I saw on Yahoo News. And I guess he like took a picture with a bunch of money, and he like filed that he's bankrupt, and so now he has to go see the judge again. And my thing, what I was also gonna say was, who really gives a who really cares about all these rappers, making money, then 10 years down the road they're broke? Like, that's their fault, Who cares? Like, you shouldn't have went so big or act like you're so big and you're really not.
I mean, shame on them for promoting money and all that bullshit.
Yeah. Wearing fur and acting like you're something.
Well, the crazy thing is that you see them go broke, and they're really not broke. They still got a house. They still got, royalties coming in. They still get a car. Like, they pretty much don't work, but, they're not living in, like, glamour, but, they're still better than us, right now. So, I mean, yeah, it's pretty much a joke. Like Mike Tyson, you take him, he's broke, but he still has a house. He still makes money,
Well, the thing is, they're broke compared to stars. I mean, they're not. I mean.
Yeah, but when we people who are broke, we think of like a homeless guy. None of these guys are homeless. They still have a house, they still have a car, they still get royalty checks. So like Fano said, I don't feel sorry for them. Fuck them. you know. But JD, can I ask you a question about his new album? Have you listened to it, and what did you
Yeah, I
think?
listened to it. It's pretty. I like some songs. I mean, I just take it for what it is, and it's just like entertainment, I guess.
What do you think of his feud with Taylor Swift and her comments about how she's not gonna let any man, say that she hasn't worked hard as an artist?
Well, I mean, I think. Well, I mean, people just start fights with the biggest person because they want to be popular. I don't know.
What is their feud?
Well, back a couple years ago, Taylor Swift won an MTV award, and she was on stage, and he comes up and says President Bush doesn't like black people or some bullshit.
No, he said Beyonce is better.
Yeah, Beyonce should have won it or some shit like that. Probably.
Yeah, and so
so basically, he's saying that made her famous, and he should be thanking her every time he goes up on the winning these fake awards that they give out to the most popular artists.
I just think it's another marketing scheme. Then now you want to go listen to the album and hear what he said.
Oh yeah, because didn't he talk shit about her on the album?
Yeah, he said he would fuck her.
He said that on a track on one of the songs.
Yeah, he said he would fuck her or something.
That she wouldn't be famous without him. And then he also talks about like Black China and Rob, and he talks about a bunch of people. I mean, it's just.
He talks about Rob Kardashian.
Yeah.
About what? What about him?
That Black China helped him lose weight and hooked up with him or whatever. I don't know.
Do you know Black China is Tyga's had a kid with him or her?
Yeah, they all know each other.
Isn't that weird?
They all just bang each other.
And then he's fucking his sister.
Yes.
And he's fucking his wife.
Hook up with each other.
See, that's sick. Where does the family dynamic go in? Where you go, why are you fucking... I mean, maybe if Rob was mad that Tiger was fucking his sister, so he went to go fuck his chick that he had a kid with, I get that on Rob's side, but that if I was Rob, I'd just be even more further away from him. I'd just be like, dude, I just disown all you people. And then I was thinking about that guy's life today, and I was like, you know why that guy's so far away from all those people? Because everyone in his family's a woman now. His stepdad became a woman.
Except for Scott. Scott's the main guy on this.
They disowned Scott, though.
What? For what? What did he do?
They just because he's gonna reveal all this shit about the Kardashians.
Good, because they need to be revealed.
But they paid him off, and now he
fucking
can't say
troll.
anything.
Oh, trolls.
But
the worst is I was watching that show, and they had the mom and Bruce, a woman now, and the mom was making fun of Bruce, how is it to wear heels now, Bruce, or whatever her woman name is, and I just thought, I was looking at her, and I was like, even with the best plastic surgery, you look like the most ugliest woman, you were better off just being a alright looking guy,
I think it's just all sick, but but I guess
he really feels better now that he has tits and he gets to wear women's clothing. He still has a penis. That's the craziest thing about this. How sick is that guy? He's having sex with women because he's not gay. I don't know if anybody knows this. He's not gay, and
no, I heard now he's gay.
He's gay now.
Yeah, he did some magazine thing where he's
what?
Just he was he said he got divorced so many times now he wants to try marrying a man and so
oh my god.
So now he's gay or something. I don't know.
He can't really be gay, right? He's a woman. Or no, he's not, right? He still has a penis. So I don't know.
Well, once you're born a man, you're always a man. Doesn't matter if you.
I can't believe we're even fucking caring about this, but alright, whatever.
No, but I just think it's funny that Kanye West talks about all that.
That guy's the weirdest weirdo of them all. Fucking troll.
But I guess I'll do the last topic since it's the last relevant thing. But Yesterday there's a MMA fight. I don't know if anyone watches it.
No, it's Bellator.
It wasn't MMA.
Well, it's mixed martial art, but it's Bellator, not UFC.
Or whatever. So it's a US or whatever the hell it was.
Bellator.
It was a mixed martial art fight. But anyways, they had Kimbo Slice fighting this other backyard brawler guy. And that was the side event. Then the main event was Ken Shamrock. And who's the other guy?
Royce Gracie.
Yeah, Royce Gracie. And they were going to fight. They're like both 50 plus years old.
Nah, Shamrock's 50 and Royce Gracie is like 48 or something.
Yeah, anyway, so the Kimbo Slice fight, these are like two big black dudes go and fight. And pretty much, like, after the first round, they wrestle, and then they lose all their energy. And so this fight goes into round 2, and they're barely just, like, they can't even, like, hit each other. They're just basically, like, the guy stands like a rock and sock'em robot fight. Like, they're barely swinging at each other. And so this goes through, like, round 2, and both are both, like, collapse, right? And then it goes to round 3, and I guess like they both had to get help off of the stools, and so it's like in round 3 they just start falling on each other, and everyone's just like, if Kimbo Slice can just push this guy off of him, he'll fall over. And so like Kimbo Slice like barely like hits the guy with like the softest hit ever, and the guy like doesn't even know where he's at, and just basically turns around and like collapses on the floor, and Kimbo Slice wins. And that was just the most bizarrest fight I ever seen in my life. And then, so the next fight is these two old guys going to fight pretty much. And so they go in the ring, and I think it was just one round. And
it lasted like less than like
90
seconds.
90 seconds. So the Ken Shamrock's like a brawler fighter. So he'll like fight you and go to the floor. And the other guy's just like a karate.
He's mixed martial art, or he's a
he's
Brazilian jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, but he just kicks people.
He's a grappler.
Anyways, but what happens in the fight is Ken Shamrock gets kicked a bunch of times, and then he ends up getting kicked in his nuts, but he doesn't react.
No, he got nailed in the nuts.
And didn't react, and then the guy kicks him again in the face, and then he falls, and the ref didn't stop it. Because when you get kicked in the nuts, the fight's supposed to like stop until you're okay to fight again. Like, you're supposed to get like a couple minutes. And so this ref, I never like seen this guy ref, but he basically didn't stop the fight. And then Ken Shamrock falls to the floor, and the guy starts hitting him on the head. So they count as a KO. And then Ken Shamrock gets all pissed off, and he's like, "I just got kicked in the nuts. I didn't get knocked out." And so the fight ends up as a KO. So it's just the most bizarrest fights ever. And then the other thing on top of that, when I woke up today, that I saw the guy that Kimbo Slice fought, D-Day 5000, basically, because when I was watching it yesterday, they normally have both guys there and say, "Oh, this guy won." and yesterday it was just Kimbo Slice, so I was wondering, like, where did that guy go? So I found out today that they had to haul him off to the hospital because I guess he basically passed out and like died. He was so fatigued, his heart stopped. Then they had to revive this big dude, and luckily he came back to life. And because this is like his third fight, but it was his first like real fight in mixed martial arts.
Well,
so
supposedly it was because he was extremely dehydrated from taking a lot of potassium to lose 40 pounds. He basically was really dehydrated because he tried to cut weight before the fight, and basically when a person's that dehydrated and they're in fighting conditions, that could lead to what happened was that he was so dehydrated that he fucking basically set him up himself to die. But Kimbo Slice looked pretty fucking tired after it too. It just goes to show you, it's like, man, people over 40 shouldn't be fighting, you know. It doesn't.
I seen every fight or most fights with Kimbo Slice, and that guy's always like about to pass out after the first round anyways. I think he just has no endurance at all. So I don't know. It looked like how he fights. He's just done after the first round.
I just feel bad for Shamrock. Shamrock's just such a great fighter who keeps getting robbed in every fight in the last couple of fights.
Well, I thought that fight was total bullshit because that is basically on the ref. The ref should have been on the other side where Insong got kicked in the nuts.
I mean, it's not an honest mistake, but
that's why that whole system is stupid. Because they should have just looked at the replay and oh yeah, you got kicked in the nuts. All right, you okay? All right, let's start this fight again.
Yeah.
Why did they just call it a KO and they obviously can see the replay and they watched the replay, so it's just stupid.
Yeah. Well, I can't get. Like I said, I can't wait for the good fights to come on beginning of March of McGregor and Holly Holmes. Good to see some professional champion fighters.
That's why I like the fighting thing. It's all
Well, yeah, it lasts 4 or 5 minutes.
Because a good fight's not even good and someone's getting knocked out quick or just some bullshit. So
yeah, that Alto fight, that was pretty fucking sad. The fucking fight we hang around, we watch 2 hours of fights, and then that fight comes on and lasts 15 seconds. We paid $60. It's what the hell happened?
Yeah. Alright, so in that, this is episode 10 with an hour with the Wolfpack out, Fano's out, and Mike's out.